Greetings, everyone. Dr. Brian Scott with you again. We are sharing with you insight to the end times. We're looking at some things that have biblical significance and worldly significance in this day in which we're living. We're getting closer and closer to what they call the last of the last days. And our objective in these insights is to bring information to you that will help you identify where we are on God's timetable. I'm in Ezekiel 38, a book in the Old Testament. I'm looking at the first 6 verses to begin with. They describe nations that are going to rise up and come against Israel. And we know from our studies over the years that this timing of the war in Ezekiel 38 really precedes or sets in motion what is called the 7 years of tribulation. Now, we read these verses the other day, but I want to look at verse number 2 for just a moment with you because it kicks off this situation. It talks about God being against Gog, that's G-O-G, who is the leader of the land of Magog, and he's the prince of the nations of Rosh, Meshach, and Tubal. That's verse 2 in Ezekiel 38. So I would like to help you today and give you some definition of who these people are. Magog, first and foremost, is the land we would refer to today as Russia, or the Soviet Union land. And the lands of Rosh, Meshach, and Tubal are areas within the Soviet Union or under the Soviet Union's control. Now we know that as Russia. Gog is the leader of Magog. We would expect that to be a current leader, potentially. And these are the main driving forces of the attack against Israel. So how do we know that Magog is Russia? Well, let me take you back in the scriptures to Genesis chapter 10. This is following the flood. And Genesis chapter 10 identifies the 3 sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And then it says, these are the sons born to the 3 sons. These are the next generation. I'm reading from verse number 2 in Genesis 10. It talks about the sons of Japheth, and it refers to the following individuals: Gomer, Magog, Tubal, Meshach. And then it refers to the sons of Gomer, which would be grandsons of Japheth. And it refers to Togarmah. These are references to these countries that are going to come against Israel. Now, when Ezekiel wrote this 2,600 years ago, in and around the year 593 BC, there was no Russia. There was no Soviet Union. But it declared, when you do a historical study, as I have, the historical records show that Japheth's son Magog, Meshach, and Tubal immigrated from the lands where Noah had been, north of the Mediterranean, all the way up into the lands that we now call Russia. So that's why we can identify Magog as being Russia and Tubal, Meshach, and Rosh as being nations or territories within the Soviet Union. These are the main nations to come against Israel. We'll have more for you tomorrow. I'll see you then.